Okay, I'm going to call to order the Rome Plan Commission, Tuesday, January 13th at 4 p.m. And I have roll call starting to my left.
Giardino here.
Dalton here.
Capel here.
Reppin here.
Hepner here.
Janzak here.
Biesinger here.
All right, can I have the certify of the posting of the meeting?
I certify that on December 30th, 2025, the agenda for the Town of Rome Planning Commission meeting was for January 13, 2026 was posted at Rome Town Hall at 3:48 p.m., Quick Trip 3:58 p.m., Inclusive Port Edward State Bank at 4:02 p.m., posted to the Town of Rome website on December 30th, and printed in the Wisconsin Daily Tribune December 30th and January 6th.
All right. So can I have a motion to approve the agenda before us?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. So move on to citizen comments. Do we have any?
I did have one, somebody call in and then he said he'd email, but he didn't, but I said I'd ask. It was a question of whether the town would consider allowing campers year-round.
Okay. All right. All right, then we'll move on to number 6 here. Informational updates, recent correspondence, current events, announcements. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share?
No.
Okay, all right,
I think,
let's go ahead.
yeah, I think that it would be important to get a sense of what Heather was talking about.
Oh, okay. So Heather, would you like to?
Sure. So, the brewery was,
Sent a spam email.
is the best way to say it, and it was from the Plan Commission, Town of Rome. So we just want to make sure that's brought to everybody's attention that
It was addressed from the Plan Commission to the brewery, asking or notifying them of fees that were still due. And it was a spam email, so no fees were due, but it had Plan Commission names on it, and they had our logo. But it was spam, and obviously the brewery knew better and they emailed me directly. And hopefully it was a one and done, but
for anybody that's doing business with the Town of Rome and I guess Plan Commission for sure, the town won't ever send out an email
We'll
asking
never send an
for
email.
money through a wire transfer. That I think is the big thing, and that was one of the things that tipped us off
So,
too. So
But you know what I'm thinking? I think it was either Tim or Bill saying that the police should be notified. Yes, they should. And secondly, this should be put on the website to alert other residents other than just here at this meeting. Because Heather was smart enough to catch this right away, but there are other residents who may not know. And I think we should be proactive and put it out on a website and alert people this is happening here.
I agree. Yeah. All right. So if anybody in the public has got something like that, call the Rome Township here, and they'll address that. Okay.
thanks, Tim.
Thank you. All right, then we'll open this up to the public hearing. I'll move on to 7A here.
I'll make a motion that we
Oh.
open the public hearing.
Sorry, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to 7A. Consideration of proposed amendments to section number 360-37 entitled Height, Setbacks, Area, and Other Requirements. Section number 360-41 entitled Height, Setbacks, Area, and Other Requirements. Section number 360-46 entitled Special Lake Arrowhead Lot Requirements. Section number 360-50 entitled Height, Setbacks, Area, and Other Requirements. Section number 360-54 entitled Height, Setbacks, Area, and Other Requirements. section number 360-58 entitled Height, Setbacks, Area, and Other Requirements, section number 360-62 entitled Height, Setbacks, Area, and Other Requirements. Take these one by one here.
So this would be the ordinance that we reviewed last time that I forgot to put as public hearing. It's changing the minimum building width from 24 feet to 16 feet for all residential districts for accessory buildings.
And I think we can take them as one vote. And I would make a
Yes.
motion since we already have, well, it has to wait. This is just a public hearing.
Yeah, you say it's public hearing.
It doesn't look like there's anybody here to speak on it. Unless one of our members has an issue with it.
Anything else? I'll just move on to the B, 7B, consideration of proposed amendments to section number 360-5B, entitled Definitions.
So this is the term nano bubbler being added to utilities.
Have any objections or anything? Okay.
I think we're still in public.
Public, oh yeah, we're in the public, sorry. Okay, then we'll move on to 7C, consideration of proposed ordinance, Article 32, entitled Solar Energy Systems Siting. That's just,
That one's pretty straightforward. That's our solar, yeah.
okay. Anybody, okay, all right. Nobody? Okay, then, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So move.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. We'll move on to discuss the possible action of the following items. Number 9, discussion and possible action, meeting minutes from Tuesday, December 9th, 2025.
Motion to approve as presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Move on to number 10. Discussion and possible recommendation to the town board. Consideration of proposed amendments to section number 360-37 entitled Height, Setbacks, Area, and Other Requirements. Section number 360-41 entitled Height, Setbacks, Area, and Other Requirements. Section number 360-46 entitled Special Lake Arrowhead Lot Requirements. Section number 360-50 entitled Height, Setbacks, Area, and Other Requirements. Section number 360-54 entitled Height, Setbacks, Area, and Other Requirements. Section number 360-58 entitled Height, Setbacks, Area, and Other Requirements. Section number 360-62 entitled Height, Setbacks, Area, and Other Requirements. Anybody would like to?
Yes, I do, about specifically the Lake Arrowhead requirements. Do they have their own covenants that are fairly strict? Are we in alignment with those with this ordinance? Or are these more strict, does anybody know?
It's phrased like that. I think because of the part of Lake Arrowhead that allows manufactured dwellings. It's phrased differently for that ordinance. I believe it is all aligned. If it's not, I mean, they can impose stricter,
Typically, they can impose stricter, but.
yeah. And that would, it would go either, if they want a larger building as their minimum, they can still do that. So it
Go
would.
larger, you
Yeah.
can't go smaller.
Correct.
Just minimum.
Minimum is
Right.
6.
Yeah,
Man,
minimum would.
It
Yeah,
just
so
allows for
we're
a
being more
minimum.
lenient, which wouldn't affect Lake
Yeah.
Arrowhead.
It doesn't
being able to
stop,
enforce.
it doesn't stop a larger one.
Yeah.
And as a point of interest, do you keep in your office the various,
HOA regulations. We have a full, like, file cabinet full of them, so we do have them, but I refer everyone straight to Lake Arrowhead because I'm not about to enforce their ordinance and they're not enforcing mine.
Sure. Is Arrowhead the only restrictive covenant-based
They're the only
we have in the
active,
town?
they're the only active HOA in the town that has,
Enforceable restrictives.
Yeah, Sherwood and Camelot's have expired, so they can't be enforced.
Right.
I'll make a motion that we make a recommendation to town board to approve the considered proposed amendments to sections 360 that are listed in our minutes to change the minimum building width to 16 feet.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll move that on to the board. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to number 11, discussion and possible recommendations to the town board, consideration of proposed amendments to section number 360-5B entitled definitions.
yeah, so this is our nano bubbler being added as a utility by definition. This is really for clarity on the town's end, to ensure that we are cohesive with it being a utility by definition elsewhere.
Right, right. Anybody have any?
I believe we already made a favorable recommendation to the board, and I would suggest we do so again after the public hearing has been held.
Right.
So I'll move that we send a favorable recommendation to the board to change or to add the nano bubblers to the definition of utilities.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move that on. Thank you. Number 12, discussion and possible recommendation to the town board, consideration of proposed ordinance, Article 32, entitled Solar Energy Systems Siting.
So included in your packet is the edited version of the ordinance that Attorney Bonino provided last month. We did discuss a size limitation to ensure that we're not requiring conditional use permits for things such as solar lights and solar panels on boat lifts and such similar items. He made the recommendation that we don't necessarily set a size limitation, but we remove the term structural design feature from the definition of solar energy system within that ordinance. And this would, that would make it so it only applies to devices that have the primary purpose of harvesting energy from solar energy. So if it's a solar light that, you know, has the tiny solar panel on it, the purpose is to be a light. It's not to harvest solar energy.
And the attorney says that the language covers that.
Yes, with this one term being removed, structural design feature, then it would encompass what we intended to.
And where does that appear in there?
Is that page 3? Is it structural integrity, all building mounted? No, not there.
So I did not redline that,
Oh, okay.
I was just looking
because this
for it.
is not an existing ordinance, so I just provided, it would be 360-166 definitions. E, solar energy system means a device or array of devices. And then in there, it says that it had the structural or,
The purpose of
yeah,
harvesting
which has the
energy.
primary purpose of harvesting energy. That's where it had the structural design feature
Okay.
Okay.
phrasing in there.
Sure.
So this has been corrected.
So
It
it's,
has been
it's
corrected.
been taken out
Yeah.
already. That's
So
why.
this reads
That's why, yeah.
as it
That
would be
explains it.
adopted.
That
As it was gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I wish I had sent some of my notes to you, but I think that covers it. The other topics that I had, and I didn't really discuss it with anybody yet because I didn't have actual numbers to go with those topics, was a couple of other aspects where I know that other locations have had difficulty is solar mounted on vehicles, like especially campers and trailers, and then also temporary duration solar that's used at fairs and festivals and things like that. And I'm not, I kind of think that what you just said covers those. That, which, that's why there's lawyers in the world. But it sounds like that's got it covered. I did have one other, when I read through this, one other section that I think is kind of way off the wall, and that is the 35-foot height for ground-mounted or base-mounted systems. I think that we should have it does specifically say ground-mounted systems shall not exceed 35 feet in height. That's ridiculously high.
Yeah, I think, and that is consistent with our overall height for all structures in the
That's
town.
why it's in there, but I don't think I've ever seen a structure that is self-mounted that is
That high.
that height. Half that height is a very tall solar system. So I would propose, I'm not gonna say 17 and a half feet, I'm gonna say 16 feet, maybe 20 feet. Is very reasonable for that. My brother's is 12 and a half feet, and he's got a 20,000 watt system. My friend's is 8 feet, and he's got a 12,000 watt system. So those are really big systems if you're gonna go that high. You know, you might put it on, you might put a 5x5 array on a 30-foot pole, and that's really not what we want either, because that's, I know that we've got the other, the visually appealing, very vague structure in there, and unfortunately, the ground-based systems are gonna require a conditional use, which means that we have more say. But I think that the 35 feet needs to be reduced. So 16 or 20 feet, I think is pretty good. I know if I put up a ground-based system on my lot, I would have a lot of neighbors that would watch. So,
It does seem a little high.
What's the average tree height
So I was wondering.
around here?
Yeah.
Will 20 feet clear if you have a wooded lot?
you're not gonna build it above the trees. That's not,
Well, you know, you'd build it on a lot that is wooded though, and you have to get above the tree line.
Right.
That's what it would be.
you
That's
got,
all I'm asking.
Trees are normally 25 to 30 feet.
So don't go too low. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you have a wooded lot and you need to get it up there, I'm not even suggesting it's
can-
gonna happen.
Right.
Since it's already a conditional use, or it would be, I should say,
So
we
that would be
don't
covered.
need that height maximum in there if we're going to review each one case by case anyway.
Right. We have
Okay.
to,
There you go.
Well, there you go.
Maybe that would be a
That'll
better
work.
thing.
we control
Yeah,
it regardless, so.
I would at least, so if you had like a 20-foot maximum height for ground-based, we could be less, we meaning anonymous us 5 years from now, could go allow something higher than that or lower than that.
If we or
Restricted.
if we get rid of it, it allows for the plan commission to approve higher than 35. If we keep 35 in there, at least it's something.
Yes.
Let me
I would,
see.
I mean, at some point, I want to discuss it first, but at some point, I proposed height of ground-based to 20 feet.
Personally, I think we
These are
should
road trees. If
just
you've
leave
got
it,
a
'cause
lot of trees.
we have control of it anyway, so it's,
You're saying we, but that's us right now. At some point, it won't be us. It will be a different board. You don't see,
Well, they'll be smarter than us.
and they might be going 1,000 feet. You don't know, but.
Any other?
I don't have an objection to lowering. I'm just saying, consider all the possibilities if you wanna put an ordinance in.
Well, then I will propose adding that, or changing ground-mounted systems shall not exceed 20 feet height.
Okay, so we
Does
have
that mean
a,
if somebody came in with one for 30, it would still come before this?
They
Plan
will
commission, or
always
would
come
they be
before the
told-
plan
it still
commission.
Or
would
would
be
they be
coming.
told it's
So-
not allowed because it's over 20 feet?
Well, they're allowed to come regardless of
Okay.
what they're,
If so, it's like an appeal
yeah.
process. Okay,
Yeah, I can't
change-
say, no, you can't go.
okay.
We'd have to change the ordinance if you wanted to approve anything over 20 feet
Well,
then.
then
Yeah.
we also have to go back through a public hearing
Yeah.
if we're going to change it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work. I would leave it at 35 and
That's,
control it.
to make
They're
a
coming through
change like
anyways.
this, when you have control over it, to me, it doesn't make sense to go back through the hearing process. Just leave it alone,
Right.
and then take it up as each individual one comes through. I understand what you're saying, but, I mean, we just went through the public hearing.
To me and to the data that I have, it's just a ridiculously high ground-based solar height for 35 feet. I'm surprised that it was even in there as a line item on the ordinance.
I'm assuming it matches our other height
You know, it's
requirements.
possible somebody's got a big building, but it's facing the wrong way. They could put a row of poles and put them high enough to be above the building, but yet have a ground-mounted system. But just because of the situation where they've got a building that's already 20 feet high, but it isn't facing the right direction, because we require that the panels match the contour of the roof. So you
Not
can't
if
put them
they're-
in there sideways.
No, not if it is ground-based. That's only
Well,
if
if it's
it's
ground-based,
on the
but
structure.
I'm talking building mounted. The guy's got a building that's going north and south, and he wants to put them on there, he'd have to mount them at an angle. Can't mount them parallel with the roof line because it's the wrong direction. But he could put a row of poles on the north side
Oh, I
or
see.
south side.
You're still limited to 1 foot over that existing structure at maximum tilt.
Well, he's not mounting them on the building, he's mounting them on poles
Right.
separate.
Yes.
I'm just throwing out a what if.
Sounds like you've got experience in this area, past life, or?
Yes, I used to race solar powered vehicles, but
Okay.
and I am on record an electronics engineer.
Okay.
So, but as I said, my brother owns a 20,000 watt system. My friend owns a 12,000 watt. Another friend has a small 8,000 watt, which actually is pretty big, mounted on his house. Yeah, I did pass it by, and everybody said they've never seen anything. The proposed, which I don't know how that's going, solar farm, I believe was at 16 feet for their maximum height for their fixed arrays. So that's a huge commercial entity.
right.
And
And if we're thinking neighbors, maybe 35 is excessive. I don't even know, I know nothing about them, so I
There
don't
isn't a single one
know.
that's pretty. It's not, I mean, you might argue whether it's ugly or not, but the visually appealing, you might be able to comment during the public, hey, I don't want my neighbor to build something 35 feet high.
So just on the other side, if somebody wanted a, like in the old days, a 35-foot high TV antenna, that would work, right?
So
Antennas
35 feet
are exempt from our maximum height requirements.
So they are, okay.
But they have different setbacks. You can't have the antenna be falling that
Oh, yeah,
lines either. So there are still effectively height restrictions. If you have a 80-foot wide lot, the most you could build would be a 40-foot antenna. Where solar is allowed, do we have restrictions on wind?
Nothing yet. I say yet because I'm sure it's gonna come up.
Yeah,
It
probably.
hasn't yet, but
See, I could see building a 35-foot
windmill.
windmill.
Oh, I got an email, Carl, asking about this. At what height do you need support wires?
For,
Get that email?
he's probably watching.
Did you just get it right now?
I just got it.
Nice.
A text message.
Glad to know somebody's watching.
Somebody
At
has
what height do you need support wires? That's a good question.
For a
Question.
solar panel or for an antenna?
Well,
Well,
I would
antennas
think-
have
I mean,
support
if you got
wires too.
something
so-
30
That's why I knew
Right.
that. I don't know anything about solar, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Question.
Okay.
I've
Good
never
question.
seen them that high that they need support
All
wires.
right.
If you want me to hear, I mean, I this is why I like AI stuff. So do you want me to slide that over so you can hear me? So I just Googled ground mounted solar panel heights. And what it says is that ground mounted solar panel heights can vary significantly, typically from a few feet, 3 to 5 feet, for basic clearance to 8 feet or more for parking underneath or maximizing sun exposure, with large systems potentially reaching over 25 feet. Talks about constrained by local zoning, wind, snow loads, but usually kept low enough, for example, 15 feet max, to avoid major visual impact and regulations. Then it goes on and talks about common height ranges. So a standard residential is often around 3 to 5 feet. Parking or carport style can be elevated to 8 feet or more to allow vehicles to park underneath. Pole mounts can reach significantly higher, sometimes over 10 to 15 feet for maximum sun exposure or to clear tall obstructions. And then it goes into factors influencing height. It talks about sunlight and obstructions, snow load, local regulations, limits. Cities often have height limits such as 15 to 25 feet, especially near residential zones to control visual impact. So these are some of the suggestions. Key takeaway: there's no single height, but it's just a balance between maximizing solar capture and avoiding shading, especially from snow, and complying with local rules, with 3 to 8 feet being common for general use and taller for specific needs like carports or large-scale solar projects. So 35 feet, based on this general information,
Is a
would
little
be
high.
pretty high.
Yeah, yeah.
So what about 16 or 20 even, just to give leeway?
Leeway, yeah. I think that's what you said.
I want to
Yeah, that is
clarify,
what he said, that's what he said.
one thing I want to ask. Now, these are the ground ones we're talking about, correct?
Right.
Correct.
Yes.
Now, we have, those that are on waterfront. You can't put that in the backside, but by the water. So that's going to be in the front, by the roadside?
It's a structure, so it would need the 75-foot setback.
It would need
Right,
to
but
meet all the
whatever
setbacks.
Would you want that? I mean, would we want that in front of somebody's house?
Between the road and their house. That's where I,
And it's
if I
not
were to pull up one,
necessarily
that's where I would put mine.
All waterfront properties,
Yes,
just to
right.
put that out there. We're going townwide.
Yes.
I know, because you can't put it in the back to, aesthetically, like if you're in the woods, you'd put it in the back, but when you're in the waterfront, you're driving down the street, you got a guy with this thing in his front yard?
Yeah, but we gotta be careful too with state statutes, right? I mean, what they can, we can't dictate some of this stuff, according
And
to.
there's a reason the ground mounted will be a conditional use. Where if it's on the house, it is permitted. I think that's appropriate, but there's a reason the ground mounted would come before plan commission.
So we- Go ahead.
I'm officially proposing changing the ground mount to 20 feet maximum height.
Okay, so we have a proposed to 20 feet height. Do I have a second on that?
You're looking at me here.
I'm looking anywhere.
I'm not looking
Any-
at it.
Anybody
I'm
want,
just,
anybody
I mean,
wanna,
20 feet is high.
well,
When you think about, if you just have a ranch
we
home.
just came down 15 feet.
I know. I mean,
Negotiated.
I
Yes.
think that's high.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a proposal and a second, and I'm gonna ask, for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll say aye.
Okay, aye. All those against?
Aye.
Against.
Against. We
I'm against it too.
got 3 against and 4 in favor?
It passes.
All right, so it passes.
So you're going to put it on for a public hearing in the next meeting?
We have to move it to a public hearing then, right? And
So
for the,
this was a public hearing. We can either approve this with you guys trusting that I'm gonna change it to 20, and then I'll move it to be approved at
The board?
at town board, because it will be seen again at 20.
I don't
or
feel, I
can't
don't
bring
feel
it
we need to
back.
go through another public
Yeah, I don't think we
hearing,
need
in
to
all
go through another
honesty,
public.
given the outcry tonight.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Okay.
Jerry, are you in accord with that?
Sure.
Okay, all right, good. All right. And we'll move on to number 13, discussion only. And that's Scenic Valley Properties Building Designs and Landscape Plan. Should have a plan for this.
So the additional few papers that I handed out before the meeting are also for this agenda item. So the owner of Scenic Valley Properties did get the use approval in September of 2024 for a container and small home resort. And this is the 10 acres on the corner of Geneva and Anawa in Rome Town Center. So at that Plan Commission meeting, that use was approved and the following conditions were placed on the findings of fact. Parking to be paved, allowance of gravel driveway to be operated in a dust-free manner, paving of 150 feet of entrance and exit of driveway, and to return to Plan Commission with final plans for the buildings. So the materials requested were not provided in time for the public hearing, so it is only discussion. She could not be here today because she was not feeling the best. But I did tell her it's discussion only, so she technically wouldn't be able to be in discussion with you guys. So the purpose of this agenda item is for Plan Commission to discuss what you guys would like to see prior to final approval. So considering, I have a few, I guess, points that I'd like Plan Commission just to think about and a couple recommendations. So considering the approved use of container and small home resort development, I'd like to recommend discussion regarding the sizes of houses and see if the proposed house plans fit the approved use. So some of the house plans are like 4-bedroom houses, and what was approved use is container and small home resort. So something to consider. And then this was pretty much already conditioned, but I just wanted to recommend that we wait for final approval of the site plan and plan of operation until the property owner provides commercially approved building plans for all house designs that she plans to put on the property. The only thing that I really added in there was that we see the commercially approved building plans, because they would need to meet some requirements that not all, residential houses would need to meet, like sprinkler systems, and I would like that to come to Plan Commission and not just be my approval, considering the process that this has already gone through.
Okay.
And then another possible condition would be that these must be for short-term rental only and not long-term rental. It's a resort, it's not a, housing development. I don't know if that technically needs to be as a condition, but to prevent blurred lines, it might be.
Well, your original proposal was for short-term, for
Right.
resort, short-term.
Yeah,
Right.
And considering
We
it's in
need to
the,
stay with that.
I agree,
and considering it's in the industrial park.
yes. Rome Town Center, not industrial.
Business. Business, not a residential area.
So, yeah, the couple additional documents. One of them is a alternate floor plan with 2 bedrooms instead of 4 bedrooms. She provided, initially, what was discussed was container homes, and the container homes were made up of 4 containers, I believe, to create 4-bedroom homes out of those containers. And and there's also a stick-built home design presented. And I believe those were also 4-bedroom homes. That is the house, the actual plans that you guys were provided was this stick-built. We do not have actual plans for the container homes.
So they're still doing the container homes? I was gonna ask that, actually.
That's the intent.
Renderings in our packet,
There's renderings.
that's what they are. They're not
Well,
pictures, they're renderings.
renderings don't match anything. I mean,
And that's
never-
really disappointing because that was, I mean, we're looking to see what she's gonna put on that property.
And
And I'll tell
that's-
you, if she came in with those two today, I'd say no.
Yeah,
They look like crap.
nothing matches
Sorry,
anything.
I'll
I
be
mean,
blunt.
floor plans and the rendering,
Yeah, I
nothing
agree.
matches
I mean,
anything else.
when I look at the one with the yellow sand underneath it, it looks like the windows were just covered over with the louvers that are sitting there underneath to hold the roof up over the exterior of the
one.
windows, yeah. That one,
Which, the first one?
this one.
Oh, yeah, that one,
It looks
okay.
like,
I
it
got
looks
it.
like it's a shipping container with windows that were covered with louvers in order not to have the glass break in transit. You open up the louvers in order to have the windows and they hold up the roof with them. That's what it looks like to me. That's not what she was portraying in her first appearance here. So it's very
This was
disappointing.
one of the reasons I say I want commercially approved plans for everything
Right.
before Plan Commission, before we even approve.
Totally agree. That's
Okay.
why I'm pointing that out.
Yes.
The renderings are
Each
terrible.
design should have its own
Every
rendering and
design, I want,
construction plans.
yes.
Each of the
I
plans.
want full sets of
Yep,
plans. for
material,
every-
everything.
Yep, and she did provide building materials, just like the brewery did when they came for approval, the actual, like examples.
Yeah.
And those were, I can't say approved, but reviewed at the time, and so she said she would bring those again.
I have a question, as I'm looking at the picture here, they're gonna build their own road.
A driveway. But yes,
No,
it
a
would act as.
wait, no, I'm looking at here, 150-foot asphalt road.
Well-
It's gonna come off of, it's a one-way,
Geneva over to Anawa.
right, it's gonna be a one-way street.
It's a private drive. Right. It is private.
Is
It's a
that the one that's
driveway.
gonna be on gravel?
Yes.
So
Be
So who-
gravel in between.
So who's
So
going to plow that?
they are.
There.
It's not our
private.
problem.
It's not a road.
It's not a town road.
So this thing going
private road.
across is a private road.
Yep. But we're forcing them to pave the entrance.
I mean,
and
is it gonna
exit.
be statewide,
Well, they're-
wide, I mean, get a fire truck in there?
Fire chief is approving it, yes.
Yep. Yep.
And it's gonna be gravel.
Well, how many
So-
houses have
I'm
gravel?
just saying, when you
I'm-
plow that thing in the wintertime,
It's not up to us.
Oh,
However
okay,
they
well, that was
decide to
approved, yeah.
plow-
I mean.
They can plow it however they want.
People plow their gravel roads all over town.
Yeah.
It's not an issue.
Yeah, I got neighbors do that.
On their driveway permit, I believe the entire driveway length said it was under 300 feet. So it would all be paved anyway.
Well, then, okay.
it's
On
a,
the driveway permit, it was, Mark, 'cause
So
Mark brought it to me
the
and we were
total
looking.
driveway is 300 feet through the property?
I'm looking at it,
Total,
it,
yes.
150 plus 150 totaling 300, is that how that, or no?
Right. 150 from each side. So
Right.
that meets in the center, the whole thing will get paved.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
And
what she's saying.
I think
That's what I'm
it
hearing.
is going to be, but on the driveway permit, it said,
300 feet of asphalt?
I don't recall the exact length of driveway, but it did note that 150 on each end were gonna be
Right.
paved.
Well, that was the requirements to prevent the gravel from being dragged out onto this roadway.
Yes. Well, and that's why Mark brought it to me, because he said, isn't 150 plus 150 300? And the total distance was under 300.
Okay.
So-
Well, I don't think we had drawings that showed that when we
Nothing-
put it in.
I don't think we have anything to scale.
No, I don't think we've seen anything to scale.
This is really,
Well, this
Very-
is,
So we need
This
more,
is
very
yeah.
poor presentation. There's nothing here you can approve.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to be difficult. I would like, written out so Taylor can put it in the minutes exactly what we want seen from her. So there's no gray area.
So we need detailed construction drawings and renderings for each design. there's 6 designs, they're gonna have to have 6.
Oh, that was another point that I wanted to address.
And the plot plan.
So, this property is approved for 6 houses. What I have gathered is they would start with 2, with no timeline of when 6 needs to be completed.
Isn't there a state ordinance that talks about on-site management facilities for over 5 units? If this is classified as a short-term rental? I'm trying to look that up. I don't have internet access. Where's the management service if they go to 6? Because almost all the short-term rentals is, like, you got an access code. It seems to work for Airbnbs and stuff like that, but is that what they're expecting to manage these by? Any idea on that?
I don't know.
Not our problem, but
Yeah,
it's just a
I'm
question
not
that I
sure.
have. If they start off with 2 and go to 4, and then oops, we can't go to 6 or something like that.
I feel like that was brought up when all of these first started happening. Like, I seem to remember somebody asking her that question, like, okay, who's gonna, manage this stuff? Because even for the short-term rentals, they have to have somebody within,
25 miles.
right, so there would be somebody because there has to be.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
yeah.
And then we also in the town center, and we have the long-term rental locations, and then there's
The
the other
apartments.
short-term lodge.
Oh, yeah, yep.
So we do have precedents for. But I thought that there was I thought the short-term lodge had somebody there. I'm not sure. I haven't been in it. I have to visit sometime.
I
And
think there's some
then
trees cleared in there now. aren't
I
there?
was just gonna say, and we have an
down there
update
with
for this
nothing done.
property, is they were given approval to clear for the driveway, but she gave her contractors go-ahead to lay water line, which I had to shut down last week, and they have done work without permits already, and they will be double feed for all permits.
Wow.
Okay.
Is there a planned easement for Anawa Court to continue?
I don't know of one. I think we'd check with Cody. I think he should know.
Yeah, there's a problem there with the landowner at the end.
That's what I thought.
Landowners come and go, the land stays.
Well, yeah.
That's what I tell
Land
people all the
commission
time.
comes and goes. Land goes too, right?
There's a problem down there. It's not gonna get extended easily, if I remember right.
Yes. Yeah, but
And then
they
one,
don't feel good that
yeah,
be in that easement right away. Maybe that can be part of the revised plan also.
yeah.
And you would need a plot plan. I mean, lay it out, details, road lengths.
For each location, if they're gonna, I know there was discussion about them starting with 2 and then adding. They'd have to come back each time if they add anything. So we need detailed plans for each.
Yeah, I would like to see a full plan of what it'll be once all 6 are in, and then it broken down into phases of exactly what will be built in each phase. And
Exactly right.
ideally, I'd like a deadline for all 6 to be up.
like
Because
that, yeah.
if we're given 10 acres of our Rome Town Center
Right.
to this type of development, we can't have 2 sitting there for the next 10 years and it not
Right.
acting as a
Yep,
true resort.
absolutely correct.
Agreed.
What's the total size?
10
10
acres.
Yeah, she said if these container homes are gonna be site-built or off-site built and hauled in.
Off-site built, hauled in. They would have to have a separate contract with MSA to have one of their inspectors go out to the factory that these are being built at to do all those inspections, because they're not gonna go through the town, because it would the fees are just, they're much higher now that the travel is involved.
Right.
So, but, yeah, so we're working.
Covered anything off-site, it's hauled in.
Yep. So I did request a landscaping plan for this meeting, and this
It's right here.
design and I believe this one, or what she provided, saying this will be vegetation.
Isn't
I
this,
think this one.
isn't that the
I think
landscape?
that
Oh,
one.
maybe it's, yeah.
Yeah,
No, this is the,
I had another one in here.
yeah, this is the one I got.
We had many conversations, so I'm losing track of.
I have a feeling you're gonna have many more.
This one here.
It's right
Yeah,
We
after,
have it in our packet, so.
I have it somewhere.
it's right after the main floor
One
plan.
right there.
These
That you
drawings are
talked
for
about.
the bedrooms or the four bedrooms? There's not enough parking there. is there?
When you pull out the main floor plan, it was the next page after this.
Okay, main 4 pounds.
There it is.
Thank you. Yes, these are square, and I said I'd bring this because it is much better than the other landscaping plans that I was provided. But ideally, I would like to know that this is an oak tree, and these are hydrangeas, and this is 50 feet from this building, or like I want to be able to look at this as a map, and
Landscaping plan should be set to scale,
yeah,
along with
everything to
identifying
scale and
all of the
labeled
plantings.
accurately, because I mean, you give me this and I don't know what trees are being planted, and not that that really matters, but I'd like to have plans in Rome Town Center being held to a higher standard.
I agree.
Yep, I agree with you totally.
Just, they got some work to do yet.
Town center to a higher standard.
Oh, no, I was thinking about the previous question.
She's talking about the management of the,
Oh, yeah,
when it's over 5 structures, is that what it was?
that's what he asked.
Oh,
Yeah, it doesn't specify that, but it does say that. You had mentioned
Short-term rental.
renting the amount of
estate.
some limitations to that too. It has to be short-term, under the law, short-term rental is defined as a residential dwelling that is operated for fewer than 30 consecutive days.
Yeah.
So I know you had mentioned two about. It doesn't say anything about.
On-site
This
management.
is from Wisconsin Towns Association too, so like the most common question in that, I don't see anything in here in terms of the number of units.
Taylor found
There
something.
probably is something, yeah.
So, operating short-term rentals with more than 5 units typically shifts you from a standard tourist rooming house license, which is all of our short-term
Short-term
rentals in the town, to a hotel license, which triggering stricter health, safety, zoning, and operational requirements, including potential inspections, local permits, compliance with city, zone, or county, city ordinances for larger lodging establishments. And then it goes.
Good one, Taylor.
Yep, good one.
Thank you.
thank you.
Pass that
Better let her-
along.
I would pass that on to them, yeah.
Six, they build 4
Provide a
and then
statute
oops.
in there.
Yep, that's,
They may not wanna go to 6.
Yeah.
They may wanna stay at 5.
Stay at 5.
And that, I guess we would have to see what their final plan would be with 5 then.
Yeah, cause we
Because they're
approved,
already clearing and laying water lines
we originally
s-
approved
without
for
a
6.
approved, yeah. So originally 6 was their max. It didn't say 6 for sure, but
No.
that's another reason I want this kind of set, so we have a for sure plan of what would be going in there.
Right, and I think like, if I remember correctly, her reasoning for just wanting to set a timeline for the 2 was in case that they weren't utilized. Like, she doesn't want to build these other buildings and have them all not get utilized. Now,
Right.
we know that's not going to happen, and they're going to be filled all the time. But
Yeah. Well, and
not
I-
being in the area, you know, she's based out of La Crosse. I think she just a little bit uncertainty there.
And I understand that. and I'm not sure I want to give leniency and then have 10 acres with only 2 houses
Correct.
Right.
In town center.
in town
In the
center.
town center, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, there should be a timeline for the other 3 or 5, or 3, other 4.
yeah.
How do you enforce that if they
Think or not.
build, if they build 2?
Well, we
I
can,
saw a condo near my house's condo set, and it was supposed to be 8, and they built the demo, and it was about 8 to 12 years later before they built the other.
I think there was something in the developer's agreement about that, wasn't there not?
yes, they must be, I believe, and that's why I included the developer's agreement in here. They have a timeline of 24 months to be open and running, I believe. But we could, like, right now, I believe the approval is for the first 2 to be up and running, which I think's fine and appropriate. That's phase 1, up and running and going within 24 months.
So we can't look at their, or demand to see their financials, but the town board can, correct, to approve, or does anybody approve a business plan other than their bankers, I would assume?
That's a Karen question.
I'm sorry, what?
I mean, I know we had provided stuff, but I don't know that like the board saw. It
Oh.
was all
That's all.
bank stuff.
That's all
stuff.
banks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No.
banks.
So, yeah, what's to stop them from building 2 and going, whoops, we can't do this?
That's your fear.
Yeah. That's your job to figure that out.
No, bringing them to you guys.
Well, yeah, I think we should just go back to them and tell them what we need yet.
All right, so we need commercially approved building plans for all
Right.
building designs. A 2-scale landscaping plan
Including identification of what's there.
with identification of what will be planted, but probably more importantly, the full site and including setbacks, distance from house to house, distance from fireplaces to house, where the walking path, which I guess was in the initial design, would be. Lighting should be included in the landscaping plan. I didn't bring the sign back. It would just be a lighted sign. It looked fine. It was approved at the last plan commission. It wasn't a huge topic that I think needed to be addressed again. I'm not concerned about lighting, but if there is any lighting outside of, you know, like the cute lighting from the house over the fire pit, I think we should know about it. And then we can discuss timelines for phases and such
That was it, timelines, yeah.
at the next agenda.
Yeah, I have timeline for total build out.
Timeline for total build
Auto
out,
build.
yeah, perfect.
Sounds good. Any other discussion on it? We'll move on.
You can express my disappointment on what she provided with renderings. Because I was the chief person that was making her come back with something because she hadn't decided on the container company. And until she does,
It,
it ain't going anywhere.
she's working with a container company now. She said there's no plans because they're all custom, but you can build custom homes and still have full blueprints. So I would like to
I was
see
just gonna
those
say,
full
there's,
blueprints.
I
Those
don't
full
believe
blueprints.
that.
Yeah.
I just don't believe that. I
Well,
wanna
then
see
how would
it.
they build it if they don't have a plan to go off of?
That's right.
I tell
You don't stand there with the agent saying, oh yeah, didn't you do this, do that. You're not,
Yeah.
she's not gonna be directing that kind of construction.
where the electrician.
Although she might think she is.
Yeah, so, and then, we don't need to discuss this now, we can do this at a later, at the Granted, she's able to get me the materials for next agenda or maybe March. But do a 4-bedroom floor plan really fit the use of container and small home resort?
Not really.
So I think that's another consideration for us to review.
Did you go back and look at the previous submitted plans? Were there any 4 bedrooms there? I don't believe there were. I thought the max was 2.
But I remember too,
Yeah.
2-bedroom.
But are these gonna be stacked?
Even so, we didn't approve anything
We
that
don't, I
big.
haven't seen plans
But
of,
I mean,
I think they
that's all I
were,
got,
so that.
all I got
so-
is this, and then there's, but this doesn't tell me what's on the inside. All I got is the, inside plan here,
So
2-bedroom.
She provided this as an alternate
Yeah.
plan. I think the intent was every building to be 4 bedrooms and looks like 3 bath,
Okay,
which is a massive.
that just doesn't,
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I don't know
that,
about
I don't think so, but I'll go back and
This
look
is
at
a
my
this is
files.
an alternate floor
Right,
plan. So
that-
there's a 2-bedroom option
That
which
would
she
be okay.
provided.
Yeah.
This is the
Or maybe
4-bedroom.
bedroom, yeah.
And then there is an issue with roof pitch, because she doesn't want to go flat, and she doesn't want to go our minimum of 4/12. And I said a variance wouldn't be appropriate, but she's allowed to apply.
Okay.
No, not in
So-
town center.
So she went 612.
I
She
thought
can
town
go
center-
6/12, but she doesn't want a pitched roof, but she also doesn't want to go flat. She'd like to go, I think, 2 inches, 1 or 2 inches.
She gotta meet the minimum. Or
Yeah,
go
we do
flat.
allow flat roofs, and we do allow, and then it bumps up to 4/12.
Yeah, but the drawing shows a 612.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't fully understand the different plans I was given.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds like somebody else has some work to do.
There's a lot of work to do before we're gonna approve anything, I'm sure.
I like the idea.
I love the idea. I think
It's interesting. I mean,
Oh, I still think it's a good project if
It is, yeah.
it comes to fruition.
all right, we'll move on then. We'll go to number 14, discussion only. Adoption of the modification process consistent with Adams County's modification process.
okay. So this came from the Eagle's Nest resort, and I only say that because they've been working with Vito on some of this. So they have an access issue if they were to create a new lot, and this modification process would help them if approved. So if this was adopted, and then it would have to be approved through this modification process, which would allow access via easement for that lot. I don't like the adoption of new processes or ordinances for a single case basis, but I did tell him I'd bring it to Plan Commission to review because I think it would benefit the town in other situations, such as Rome Town Center, where we do not have a lot of road access, road frontage, with a ton of land. So it could benefit the town in other ways, which is why I said I would bring it to Plan Commission.
Can you help me out? What is the Eagle's Nest?
Eagle's Nest is the resort on 13 and Archer. They have, I believe, 3 or 4 houses now. It is a short-term rental resort with, I guess I don't know the size houses. They're very nice houses. Yeah, I mean, it's a rental resort. I don't really know
So it's several
much more to
houses in a
give you.
group that they call a resort, is that?
Yes.
right.
Yeah,
When you
same
first turn
owner.
on to Archer, it's like the first 3 driveways on the right, and they have little eagles on the mailbox. Those are those.
Yep,
That's how I know about it.
Yep.
yep. It's all tucked back away, so
Yeah.
you really don't see any of it.
Okay.
They
They do
yeah,
have some
driveways.
lots on, Oh, man. Rain dance? No. On a Lake Arrowhead Road
Yeah. Isn't
They
that
have
Duffer's
more
Pass?
properties.
Is that Duffer? Oh,
through the woods.
yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
just completely blanking.
Each
on-
one of those houses currently is on its own parcel,
Correct.
but they got land that they can't get enough frontage on a road to develop, right? Is that,
Kind of.
That's the one that, yeah, this is where he came in for an easement to build a building with no frontage.
Yes. So they want to create another lot for another home where it is zoned business there. So technically, if they were to come with a site plan and plan of operation for the property, they could very well be approved for just 2 homes on 1 lot. That's not the route they want to go. So that's where this came into the conversation. So they do have options outside of this.
That's what I was going to suggest, is I asked Emily if there are other options that they can do something without having to adopt the county ordinance, and there are. So, I mean, I'm not in favor of adopting a county ordinance for one property, even though it favors others.
Yeah, well, I was gonna
But-
say, would you be in favor of adopting this ordinance
If-
and denying theirs? Like, I just want you to look at it both ways, because it can serve, because this does not guarantee that they would be approved for this modification
So
process.
what you're suggesting is that we need the ordinance in order to fully develop the Rome Town Center.
I'm not saying we need it, but it's an option to give more flexibility to Plan Commission to sell more lots in Rome Town Center to gain access to, some of that property.
Personally, I like that idea.
Does it have to be adopted in total as written?
No,
Or would
not
our
at all.
attorney?
I only provided this as.
Would our attorney take this then and formulate it against our code?
Yes. Yes. No, we'd take this as our basis and rewrite it to fit Town of Rome.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I only provided this because it's what Adams County has, and that's what we'd work off of.
Then I would suggest that we direct Emily to have our city attorney take these plans and come back with a draft for us.
but I agree, we shouldn't adapt this just for one
Right.
property owner.
I agree. I don't like zoning like that.
We don't want to start that.
No, but I'm willing to look at something on the grander scale.
Right.
All right. So, let Emily take care of that? All right. Then we'll move on to number 15. Next agenda items.
So, one of the things that we need to start looking at is updating the comprehensive plan for the town. Yep, it's that time. So, I know Planning Commission is, one of the city bodies that's involved in that process. I don't know, at some point, do we have a joint meeting with PC, CDA, and RTC? That's Community Development Authority and Rome Town Center, along with you guys. But we need to start addressing the comp plan, and so probably to start out would be getting you guys all a current copy of what the comp plan looks like, unless you already have one, or I don't know how accessible it is is it online, Taylor? Do you know?
Yes.
There is,
Okay.
yeah.
So we could send you guys a link via email, so you could start. I don't know what version you like best. Piece of paper, like a spiral bound book, or to just look at it online. Whatever's your preference. I guess I would ask, maybe email Emily and Taylor could assist with this, and tell your preference, whether you want it like spiral bound paper copy, or if you're okay with looking at it online, in which case we'll get you a spiral bound copy before the next meeting, or a link to the comp plan online. So then you guys will all have a copy of it, and then start reviewing it. But next meeting, I don't know if we want to have maybe first really basic discussions about what we see there in the comp plan, and then start to go forward from there. But
Probably
this would just
the
be
public,
very startings of the conversation.
I think you should probably get into what parts do you want public participation in?
Right. Yep. That'll
that out of the way right
That'll all
away.
come with community engagement and and all that, but this is kicking off the conversations and what, you know, just review, basically a review of it as we work through, maybe start working through some of these chapters and reviewing it, and then, at some point getting together with the other groups.
All the
and
meetings are
having
open
some
to the
community
public.
engagement.
But there's, sometimes you want to go and do more than just invite them to a meeting.
Yep, yep.
Would often there's subcommittees made. I know the last time this was attempted to be updated, there was a subcommittee to do that update. That would be an option to be like a CDA, Plan Commission, RTC subcommittee, so all the hands are in the pot and being able to be part of the update while it's not all Plan Commission crazy long meetings. Because we know that's how it would
Is
go.
that a hint? It'd be representatives from each group that would be part of that subcommittee. So no conversations would be lost for any one group, and then go
Are
forward.
the
and
files
try to
from the
figure out-
previous subcommittee available?
Pardon me?
The ones that never
file-
got transported?
Yeah, no, they are, because
Okay.
they're all under my, they're under my, old,
I mean, that's a good chunk of
Right.
what was
Yeah.
being proposed for the change.
I should be able to find it. They don't,
Okay.
they wouldn't have deleted that, so I can probably dig and find my old files for that.
Rather
No,
than
there was a lot
reinvent
of,
the wheel.
lot of information in that.
I mean,
Yeah.
we spent a lot of
We had
time.
over a year's worth of meetings
Right.
to
I-
update that
We
stuff.
spent a lot of time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's,
What happened then? Did it just?
and
kind of-
knowing that that work is sitting there, I don't want to have to go back and redo it.
Right.
Yeah,
You did it
yeah.
once.
I don't think
Well-
it needs to be redone, but
Well,
that's-
it's at least
there may be some things that
we
need
can go
changing.
back and add a couple things, or
Yeah.
if something's
Right.
not applicable,
Adjust it or
but
But I think that's a
It's a
good
much
starting
better
point.
starting
It's a
point.
good jumping
It's a
off
good
point to
starting
starting with the plan the way it
Yeah.
exists now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we were working with North Central
Regional Planning Commission.
Regional Planning Commission. It's so long.
That's a long title.
I guess I'm not sure if the town is still has an agreement with them or
Look it up. I can
We
find
haven't done
out.
anything, we haven't done anything with them for years. Since
So-
this last plan, I believe.
That's the last plan, but
okay. So
This
that's something to
the
figure
first 10-year
out
plan.
if we would be doing it all in house to update, which we can do, or
It's
if we want
passed
to
along
go
to them
through
for approval before it goes anywhere. You have to send this plan to the Plan Commission. The North Central Regional Plan Commission has to approve our version before it goes anywhere. Then it gets sent to the state. So they're involved, but
Well, they
If I
can
understand
write
the
it for
process
us
right,
for a
right.
fee.
Yeah, depends on
Or-
the.
oh yeah,
we
they'll help
write
us if
it.
they want, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want help from them, they'll help you. If they can
Ultimate
get you on,
cost.
if you can get on their docket.
Yeah.
Because going into a regional plan commission and trying to get on a docket is not an easy task.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Dennis, I've had engagement with Dennis Lawrence, if he's the guy for this area, I'd find out, but.
Dennis would be the contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we could set up public engagement in different ways, and I think you said rather than have them come to a meeting, one of the things, and I talked with Emily about this when I first got here, one of the things I did, with, comp plan that I worked on over in the Twin Cities, we did what we called community cafes, and we just hosted in various places in town, engagement sessions, and we took the chapters in chunks, so like, you know, this night we had a meeting for transportation, then maybe 2 weeks later we had a meeting for parks and trails. And so people
Yep.
don't have to come to every single
Right.
meeting and hear what they're
They
not
come to what they're
interested in.
interested
They
in.
come
Yep.
to whatever they're interested in
Yep.
to give their input, you
Yep.
know, what's near and dear to their heart. So some people don't care about housing, some do, right? So, so we could do something like that too as an idea, but that's all stuff to explore and kick around and figure out where we
Yep.
wanna go
No.
with it, but, I think initially we'll figure out how to get each of you a copy of the comp plan, whether that's online access or a hard copy, whatever your preference is. Email Taylor, everybody should have Taylor's email, right? Yeah, and let her know what your preference is, and you'll get everybody what their preference is, right, Taylor? Yep. And then we'll go from there, and then I don't know what we wanna do at the next plan commission meeting, if anything. Do we wanna, you guys decide, you know, as we start
Can you
forming.
provide us with the
Subcommittee?
results of the subcommittee in the next meeting?
Yeah.
that would be a
That would be-
starting,
Do a
that's a starting point.
discussion-only
Okay.
agenda item, I
From
provide
my
you with what.
perspective, having served on it. but-
Review that, whatever was from the last
Were you
one.
on it?
Yeah.
You were on it, weren't you? Yeah.
There was a lot of work put into that, so we need to resurrect that information rather than start over.
So whatever information we
Let's
have,
bring that up.
then we can email that out to you guys too, so you have a copy of that, and then we can jump off from there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll put that in the packet for next week.
okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Is it easier for you to put that together electronically or on a hard copy? Oh, you're probably gonna
It'll
do
be in the
electronic.
packet, so I'll have it all printed out in the packet, hopefully way sooner than this month's. We had so many, like, email and software issues the last few weeks, which is why you guys got the packet first, like, last Friday, I think I got it to you. So I
We had our
apologize for
server,
that.
we had our server where our Outlook is housed crash, and it was, one of the vendors was usurping the capacity of use, and that caused the whole server to crash, which caused our Outlook to crash for basically several days. So, we had it all back though, so.
All right. Great. All right, then we'll move on to number 16. Next meeting date and time, February 10th, 2026 at 4 PM.
Is there anything else besides the comp plan on the agenda?
Container homes, if they
Oh, yeah, the
are
container.
able to provide everything we're
And our-
requiring. And then I'll bring back the modification process, with
Okay.
Vinnie's edits.
Yep. All right, then do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
Seconded.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, please, thank you.